We're going to bring in Trevor Matich. Let's take a look at our all-state playoff predictor. Look, Trevor, you look at it here, chances to win the national championship. Who's your favorite?
Yeah. Oh, boy, that's a tough one. I think you've got to go with Oregon to win the national championship just because they've been consistent. They haven't really fallen off. Now, their defense has struggled against the best offenses that they've faced. Ohio State scored over 30, Boise scored over 30, and now Penn State just hit that threshold as well. And so you can make a case that against the better defense or offenses, their defense would be struggling. But at the same time, that would almost be nitpicking when you compare them to flaws on the other teams they'll have to face.
Yeah. We were just having the SMU Alabama discussion there. And I think in many respects, conference championship games were kind of like, it was like a case that was being decided by a jury. What's the importance of conference championship games going forward? Did the committee get it right by putting SMU in?
Well, based on what they favored, yes. When they kept Penn State over Ohio State in the ranking, even though Ohio State beat Penn State head-to-head, that told me that they were not going to punish, even though Ward Manuel, the committee chairman, said that punish isn't a word that they come up with, that they use, but they weren't going to downgrade losers of conference championship games as much as they might in the regular season for a loss. And so the fact that they kept Penn State ahead of Ohio State told me that they were not downgrading conference championship losers as much as they might. And the fact that SMU came roaring back from a 17-point fourth quarter deficit to put that game in position to go to overtime and win it, that means that the committee is valuing those conference championship games. And so because of that, they got it right. If they valued the quality wins, then they got it wrong.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. You can't have both. You got to pick one or the other, and what are you going to value the most? Quality wins or how good or bad your losses were, because Alabama has a horrific loss, that loss at Oklahoma where they didn't manage to score even a touchdown. And then Alabama's out. If it's quality wins, then Alabama beat Georgia. They beat South Carolina, something that SMU is not able to do. In that case, the committee's wrong. Right. But then if you don't downgrade teams for losing in a conference championship game, then they're right.
Yeah, right.
So it just depends on what they like.
And the criteria in which the committee is kind of figuring all of this out, we'll see if that changes. Again, this is all kind of a malleable process as we go forward in this new era of college football. There are so many great first-round matchups as well. And first, too, Clemson, Texas. They've never played on the football field together at the same time. What's your favorite first-round matchup that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking for Ohio State, Tennessee. Ohio State.
My man.
Yeah, you got that?
Let's go.
Yeah. Ohio State is maybe the most talented team in the country, if healthy. Now, everybody's banged up at this point.
Right.
But remember that in the Oregon game in September, Ohio State lost their potential future first-round draft choice left tackle Josh Simms to injury. The backup left tackle went in, played the next game against Nebraska. The team struggled to run the ball, to move the ball at all, and that backup left tackle got hurt late in the Nebraska game. So Ohio State moved the starting left guard to left tackle, the backup center to left guard. Then the starting center gets hurt. He's going to be drafted probably as well. So the starting left guard, backup center moved to starting center.
Who's on first base?
Right. Right. And so they have a freshman playing left guard. And Tennessee has one of the best rushing defenses in the nation. And so that's going to be a very interesting matchup.
And I love that matchup. And, for me, I'm excited about that because I know that's the strength of our football team. And they were talking about it on the Linear Show earlier, how, Greg made this great point, right? The struggling offensive line and what we've seen from this offense and how they have failed to get their offense going through running the football with their two talented running backs, I think plays into the hands of Tennessee. Even though being on the road, you have to give a slight edge to the Tennessee defensive front in that matchup.
Sure, but here's the flip side to that one, though. That Ohio State's defense has been playing lights out.
Oh, lights out.
They've been fantastic.
No doubt.
And Tennessee, their offense is known as a high-flying, fast-paced, deep strike passing attack, right? They were that in non-conference play early in the season, but during SEC play, this Tennessee passing offense was not a deep strike, dangerous passing offense. They did better later in the season, but now they're facing maybe the best secondary and maybe the best pass rush combination that they will have seen all year. So that's going to be another interesting part. Ohio State, I think, will have trouble moving the ball, but Tennessee's going to be in a lot of danger if they try to push it down the field.
That's great point.
Ohio State and Tennessee facing off for the first time since the 1996 Florida Citrus Bowl. So it's been a little while since those two teams have played. All right, last one before we get you out of here, Trevor. Maybe a team that's flying a bit under the radar that you think could make some noise in the first round, or do you not? Do you think everything's going to go chalk?
Well, it's hard to say it's going to go chalk, but I would suggest this, that people have stopped talking about Indiana since Ohio State whooped them. And the reason Ohio State stopped them so cold was that the Buckeyes pass rush didn't give Curtis Rourke, the quarterback for Indiana, any time to throw it all.
Right.
He's good under pressure. But there's a difference, as you know, as a quarterback, between being under pressure and not having any time at all to do anything at all.
I know it very well.
Yeah, that's I'm sorry, too soon?
Too soon.
But people stop talking about Indiana. Now, Notre Dame has a very good defensive front, very good pass rush. But if they're able to protect Rourke, then I think that passing attack of Indiana is legitimately one of the best in the nation. And if he has any time to throw at all, that's going to be a very interesting matchup.
I agree. And I also will say a lot of people kind of wrote off Clemson after they lost to Georgia in the first week of the regular season. I think I would be shocked if everything goes chalk in the first round. But we will be watching intently as the college football playoff commences in a couple of weeks. Trevor, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.